Yeah, I am. Everybody's picking us probably to have a losing record, so we'll see.
All right. Everybody, don't know who everybody is, but Kevin,
Yeah,
are you buying the Bucs as a sleeper team?
Yeah, that's the first thing I was going to say, Kimberly. They're the Vegas favorites, so the shock is the wrong word if they go 9-8
Right.
here, okay? But yeah, they're going to be very, very good. There was some real huge glaring weaknesses last year that I think are going to be addressed. They could not stop the run last year. They could not tackle. Instability across the offensive line. Baker Mayfield, because of that, was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz. Okay, you get a little healthier. You have Egbuka in another year where he's one of the best players in all of football for the first half of the season last year. That will take another step. And then Reuben Bain and Josiah Trotter, they're two rookies in the defense, instantly better at tackling, instantly got those dogs we're talking about. Reuben Bain was out, there's the video right there, for an hour after practice yesterday. That's culture. He is going to be the steal of the draft. He's going to be the guy, Lewis, by October. Everybody's going to say, oh, really? The Dolphins took Caden Proctor over this guy? Oh, really? The Ravens took an offensive lineman over this guy? Like, we're going to be pulling our hair out by Halloween that the Bucs got Reuben Bain that late in the draft. Instant culture changer. The Bucs win this division.
Now, remember, Kev's a big Miami University.
He is.
Unbiased.
He is. I don't know.
Lewis is it.
Call him out, Doggy.
That's the first. Second thing.
Guilty as charged, by the way.
Let me say something about the Baker thing. You're going to disagree, but that's what I want you to do anyway. I know
Doggy
Baker.
producing.
I know Baker loves to play the chip on the shoulder game. I mean, I get that. And I understand he's annoyed about his contract. I get that too. He won one playoff game in Tampa? They beat the Eagles that one year? Is that what it is? And then won one with the Browns. They were 8-9 last year. They didn't win the division. They were under 500. All right. Look at the quarterbacks coming out of the draft in 2026. Arch Manning, Dante Moore. You got the kid from LSU.
That's what he's saying there.
You got the kid from Ohio State. If you were Tampa, would you give him that kind of contract that would keep him there and make him? I wouldn't. He's not a top. Do you think he right now is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
Well, clearly.
I don't think he is. Not top 10. He's somewhere in that 10 to 15 range, but he's not top 10, 11 to 15. So as a result, he likes to play that chip on the shoulder game. I'm getting tired of listening to it, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, Tampa does actually think there's value there because they have had talks. It seems like the breakdown is about the length of the contract. Baker wants a longer contract. They're willing to give him the money. So clearly Tampa sees value in having Baker as their quarterback.
Right, but they're in the 50 per year APY type of number, right?
But short term.
But shorter term, exactly.
And not 60.
And look, this has always been Baker's MO. Baker's always operated this way with, somebody hates me. There's got to be somebody out there who hates me. There's somebody out there who doesn't think I'm good enough. And you know what? That's fine. I respect him for it because he is tough as hell. He has been a guy who hasn't missed a single start since he's been in Tampa Bay. Sometimes, he has not played at 100% from a health perspective because he does put himself in harm's way unnecessarily at times. But no, I don't think that Tampa Bay is going to be sneaking up on anybody. I don't think anyone's disrespecting them. I'm with Kevin. Look, they have made some major improvements, especially on the defensive side, but it's going to start health and continuity on the offensive side of the football, health and continuity on the perimeter, health and continuity as it pertains to Baker. Defensively, don't mess this up, though. Get Vita Vea's situation figured out.
Agree with that. Get
that figured out because now you've got him and you've got a young Reuben Bain who is wise and mature way beyond his years. I'm with you. Look, I did Miami games last year, multiple, Miami Hurricane games. This guy being out there 2-3 hours after practice is over by himself, that's par for the course for Reuben Bain. I remember trying to set up a production call with him to talk to him on the phone. And they said, well, first he's got to go through his post-practice regimen with Jason Taylor. Then he's got to watch tape. Then he's got to watch tape with the players. Then he's got to do his lift. Then he's got to get his rehab. Then he'll get to you. He called me at like 9 o'clock at night on the phone as he was heading back to his apartment. That's how committed this guy is. Tampa Bay isn't sneaking up on anybody. And let's not forget the other Hurricane they got, Keontae Scott.
Yes, sir.
He's also going to be a dog and a stud for this defense. Tampa Bay ain't sneaking up on nobody.
Keontae Scott taking reps with the ones.
That's right, at the nickel position.
No, real quick, on the quarterback draft thing, they're not going to be bad enough to get an elite quarterback next year. I think there might be 3 or 4 elite quarterbacks. You're going to be going 9-8. You're going to be the back half of the first round. Baker Mayfield is going to be better than anybody you're able to take. You mentioned those guys. The Julian Sands. I think Dante Moore is probably going to go ahead of where the Bucs draft. But there's going to be 6 or 7 guys in the first round. That doesn't mean 6 or 7 culture changers, franchise changers. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, remember, though, there's some of those teams, I know the Browns need one, but some of those bad teams already have drafted their quarterback, a la the Raiders. So they may not need a quarterback, so you can trade up to get him. Bottom line is it's a good quarterback draft coming out next year.
Agree with that.
It looks that way.
Here's the one thing I'd say about Tampa. Quickly. That division is you can make a case for any team in that division, even Atlanta. Now, nobody's going 12-5. But there are a lot of 9-8, 10-7, 8-9 possibilities in the NFC.
I don't know if I can make a case for Atlanta, by the way. I don't know.
Okay, let's put a pin in that one. Because you did mention the Browns, my favorite team to cover. Still to come. The QB competition in Cleveland might leave something to be desired, but is the Browns roster stacked otherwise? We are diving in, and all eyes are on Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. How good does he have to be for the Eagles to make the Super Bowl? The answer might surprise you.
Game of football, you just can't. And quite honestly, I think we've gotten so far away. Look, again, player health and safety, I'm all for it. I understand you want to protect these players long term. There's no doubt about that. And a lot of the rules that they've implemented, as far as headshots and making sure that players are kind of protected in live game action, I'm all for. I am all for it. But let's just pump the brakes on some of this stuff, man. You still got to play the game and practice the game the way it needs to be played and practiced.
All right, we're going to talk about another fiery type of player, Baker Mayfield. It is a big year for Baker Mayfield as a two-time Pro Bowl quarterback enters year 4 in Tampa Bay without a contract extension after talks broke down with the team before training camp began. Here's Baker on his confidence in the Bucs during a pivotal year for him.
I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year, and so I'm excited to just get on the road and do that. You can't avoid it. There's the TVs everywhere. I think everybody's confident. Yeah.
That's the first thing. And second thing is, with the quarterback, you got to protect him. Because without one in this day and age, if Bart Starr got hurt, you had Bukowski, who won playoff games. They have to protect the QB.
There's no question about that. I'm not saying that it should just be a free-for-all and we should be going 11-on-11 every game and sacking your quarterback. Look, I get that. You got to protect your assets. But I think Tom Brady put it best. Look, it's football. You're paid to play the game. And to play the game at a high level, you have to practice the game at a high level. And sometimes that comes with consequences. You're going to lose some players now and then. You cannot eliminate all the risk out of the game.
90 calories. 2